All right, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, citizens of YouTube. Pastor Dowell here. I was thinking this morning as I was finishing a little bit of my morning workout, and I was thinking from the different experiences that I've had in life. And I'm gonna try to make this what we call a self-help video. Let me tell you something. Listen to me very closely if you truly want help. You know what I mean? I'm the type of person, I'm not going to go fish and then provide you the fish. But if I can teach you how to fish, then you can provide your own fish. And when I'm not even in the picture, or I'm not at your residence, or if I'm not in your life, you can continue to keep on fishing for the rest of your life and providing for yourself. The biggest trouble that people have today, be it social, political, economic, religious, it makes no difference. It really truly don't make any difference. The biggest trouble that people have, and the number one problem that people have in life today, is not having the ability to change their mind. You see, when you get so used to things functioning a certain way and being a certain way, your life is secure, at least the way you think that it is. And when it's secure, at least the way you think that the way it is, you don't want to branch out. You don't want to take risk. You don't want to change because you're comfortable. And nobody in this world likes making the sacrifice in order to advance. I'll give you an example. I'm on the community here that I built with my hands. We started off with 13 acres. Now I have 101 acres just in this location. Now, don't get me wrong, I have land in other areas too. But the law of the spirit, there's a law called sowing and reaping. And it is true that if you do follow the principles of giving, and then here's the thing right here, not just giving, but then following up with doing, that's when the whole dynamic comes together. Again, I don't care if it's social, political, economic, religious, I don't care. Economically, you can't continue to keep doing the things that you've always done and expect you're going to prosper economically. You can't speak to people who have little to no knowledge of money because they have nothing to offer you but debt, and to get more debt. Because you know just as well as I do, most people impulse buy today, and most people buy based on their lust. And very few people actually exercise self-control in any form or fashion nowadays. If you can't pay for something in cash, if it's something you're going to purchase and it's under, let's say, $1,000, $2,000, something like that, then save the money before you can buy it. A lot of times you really truly don't need it. If you have something that already works and is doing well, why let your own unbridled lust put you in a position to where you take money out of your hands to go and waste it on something that's going to be a depreciating value, because you can't call it an asset. An asset is not something that depreciates. When you go buy a brand new vehicle, it's going to depreciate. Matter of fact, it's going to depreciate pretty fast as soon as you drive it off the lot. It's not an asset. You have to think in different terms. You have to think outside of the box of friends, natural family, who are still spinning their wheels. I often say this many times, and I said it once, said it 1,000 times, I'll say it again. You look at people and you go back and do an assessment of yourself and them, see where they were 5 years ago, and see if their mindset has changed to better themselves, see if their mindset has changed to try to grow. And if their mindset hasn't changed, then you need to make changes. First of all, you need to make changes of yourself, because it does no good to look at everybody else and then you can't see yourself. Because most people, I grew up in an environment, and let me just give you this example right here, maybe it makes sense. I remember growing up on the block. That's what we used to call the hood, the block. And I remember going up on the block, and you would see all these I'm just a teenager, 14, 15 years old. And there was all these older men, 20s and late 20s, early 30s and 40s and 50s. One of them said, man, I know computers. You put me down in front of a computer, man, I can do this and I can do that and I can do this and I can do that. And then another one would boast in another area about where they've been successful and all this stuff. And then when you get finished all and you look at them, you find out that this cat's still in the middle of the day, sitting here on this same corner almost on a daily basis, drinking an 8-ball or a bull, a 40 ounce, smoking weed, doing everything else. And they have all the answers to everything. But when you look at them, their life it hasn't went anywhere. And believe me, they believe that they are subject matter experts. You have that. You have the same thing going on YouTube concerning people who are religious. These people, they have all the answers of everything, but they're not looking to change. They're not looking to transform. They're not looking to make themselves better. But this guy's under the illusion that he was really great at computers, but yet he's not working at IBM. He's not working at Apple. He's not even working at Best Buy to even sell them. But yet and still, he is under this illusion that he was all of this, and yet his life has went nowhere. And then not only that, 30-something years old, still living at your mom and dad's house. Don't even have a job, but you got all this wisdom. That's just one aspect out of many. Same thing, like I said, with religious people. Most people, they get comfortable. They don't want truth. They want a comfortable life, but they don't want truth. That's just the way it is. Same thing with the welfare mentality. When you've been used to receiving, and let's say if you got 2,000-3,000 coming in every month, you get used to that lifestyle right there. And if you don't have any self-drive, ambition, or determination, you're not thinking about trying to advance that in any way, shape, fashion, or form. When you're comfortable right where you are. And when you're comfortable right where you are, who can do something with you? Nobody can do anything with you. See, you have to be able to rise above self. You have to be able to be willing to make the sacrifice and the changes. And there's only going to be, if that, I will say out of every 100 people you maybe talk to, maybe one. I don't think you're ever going to really get 2 out of 100 because, again, people have been trained to function a certain way. And people have no idea how bad they have been manipulated. Just, for instance, if you look at our system of law or the way that we do things, there's an illusion. We all believe that this is the way it should be done. This is the way we should go. But have you ever been into a court system and stuff, or for a traffic ticket or something like that, or any type of a civil case? And when you get in there and you're trying to represent yourself, but yet they have a lawyer and they start speaking in all these foreign languages and legalese, and when you get up there and you're going after the natural order of things the way you believe, and you know that it's consciously right, normal right, and you feel like you've been raped, and yet and still you've been levied and fined and taxed and everything else, and you got to pay, and they get off scot-free, and yet and still you sit up there like, what happened? They even said stuff like, yep, you're right here, and it gives you a little bit of taste of vindication and stuff. Next thing you know, judge slaps the gavel and you got to pay, and you're like, what happened? What went on? What happened? You don't have to do that once or twice to try to figure out there's something gravely wrong. There is something gravely wrong. The whole entire world is full of deception. I'll give you an example. Do you know the difference between common law and statutory law? Do you know the difference in jurisdiction and legalese? Do you know the things about this? Do you know what it means to function in the public as opposed to the private like the rich do? If you don't know all this stuff, all you're going to do is spin your wheels. You're just going to continue to keep doing the same things you've always done and expect change, and change is never going to come. There will be a change. You're going to go from bad to worse. And you're going to continue to keep making money, and as soon as money get in your hands, it's going right back out again, and you have nothing to show for it. Nothing but just a lifestyle for that month. So you can't listen to people who refuse to do their own due diligence. You can't listen to people who refuse to change. You can't listen to people who refuse to do their own independent research and then implement the things that they learn. You can't listen to people who is not going to burn the oil to sit down and learn something and then implement it. Most people just want stuff handed to them without the painstaking task of knowing how it functions. I mean, you can't just give a child an inheritance and not teach them about money and teach them how to make sure that it stays in succession, going from children to children to children to children to children. You can't do that. If you just give them a bunch of money, there's this old saying in the world, a fool and his money is soon party. You've got to actually sit them down, send them through school. Why do you think people go to school? They go to school so that they at least have a baseline of learning to know how to function. I used to be a paratrooper. Now, there's a lot of people that's been paratroopers before. But before all of us could be a paratrooper, we had to go to school. Now, can you jump out of a plane? Sure you can. But what are you going to do if you've never had any training and you just go up there and jump out of a plane? Are you going to know how the equipment functions? No. Are you going to know what to do in case something goes wrong? No. Do you know how to land to keep from breaking your legs? No. Why? You had to go to school. You had to be trained. You had to learn. And today, the best education that we have that comes without a lot of financial obligation and pain is self-taught. But again, even that is a painstaking task because you've got to place yourself and shut yourself off from the outside world of people who ain't going nowhere. You don't believe how many people been talking about they want to do a homestead, they want to do a community because they can see the decline of our society. They can see a decline of our monetary system. They see inflation on the rise. They see all these things, and yet and still, they're not working towards a goal. They don't have a goal. They're not doing anything to make sure that they bring to pass that goal that they have. Because sometimes people set goals way too big and they get frustrated and they lose heart and they fizz out. Little goals at a time, little changes. And that'll motivate you once you get your successes to make more changes and continue to keep setting greater goals and continue to be more advanced. But most people, they're going to live poor, die poor. They're going to live without anything, die without anything. They're always going to depend on the benevolence of somebody else to make up the hedge for them because somebody has got to be able to take them in. Somebody's got to provide for them. Somebody's got to do something. Again, the best education is self-education. The best way to prosper in any aspect of life, social, political, economic, or religious, is becoming a doer. But in order to become a doer, you have to school yourself. You have to educate yourself so that you don't continue to repeat and make the same mistakes in the past. I can't do it for you. I can give you all the information in the world, but I can't live life for you. I can tell you what you need to do in order to succeed, be it in the community, be it investing, be it homesteading, being able to live self-sufficient and stuff, preparing yourself. I can give you all this information and how to do all this stuff, but I simply just can't not do it for you. Am I making sense? And that's where a lot of people are at. They're stuck in the rut of the entitlement mentality, like this world wants you in. They're stuck in the rut of what they call receiving benefits. Benefits given by any state or any government is nothing more than a liability. And believe me, those benefits always comes at a cost. If the government say they're going to give you something, you better believe they're going to give it to you in this hand, but behind their back, they got something right here to put a noose around your neck. And so does a lot of other people. You know, this communication wasn't a bunch of hot air and rhetoric. Go back and listen to it again. Share this video. Like it. Subscribe. Do whatever. But you could change. And you don't, even if you haven't, if you wasted a lot of time, you can stop wasting time today. But you're going to have a made up mind. And then you're going to have to start doing. Period. Hope I said something to stimulate thought this morning. I do. I hope I helped out somebody in some way, shape, fashion, form. It's just on my heart. So much so on my heart, it made me stop my workout. So I'm going to try to go back and finish. You have a wonderful day.